right, so everyone's in this tavern. This place is packed. Everyone just like has drinks, sitting at these tables, just kind of waiting for the news because it's probably been a couple hours now since everybody's left. It's just the first floor boss, right? So like,
Yeah. I mean, it's a game. You're supposed to beat it. This isn't like Dark Souls.
yeah.
So many people died just from the sub-boss. What if none of them... Would we have to go if none of them come back?
No.
I need you to, like, get positive, okay? They're gonna win, alright? They're gonna do it. You need to, like...
They defeated the sub boss.
They got this. They got it in the bag.
Yeah, they're going to do this. We're gonna get out of here. We don't have to go ourselves.
150 players went to take on the first boss, and what, like 8 went to fight a sub-boss? Like,
That's just one thing.
Yeah, that... I'm just freaking out.
Nobody was prepared for the sub boss, you know? That's why everyone died. It's just,
it was a trick. It was like a trap.
yeah.
They only went in with like 6 people at a time, and 150 people seems like enough. More than enough.
They're probably just like enjoying themselves, you know, having like won instantly. Oh, yes, that. Wow,
Oh my gosh!
We're gonna get out of this game!
We don't have to go.
Oh, fantastic!
We're gonna live.
You know, this could be what, like 5 bosses? You know, maybe we're within the way there.
We're gonna get through this. We just gotta send 150 people every time. Let's do shots. Bring in shots.
I need shots.
Please, more alcohol. I don't want to be sober.
Oh, this game is easy, just simple.
Ooh, yeah.
Have it in the bag.
Easy game. We just need capable people. That's it.
It's a numbers game. Oh, okay.
We have the capable people. This is great.
Oh, those people, they're gonna be coming back probably at level 3 and 4 and stuff. Oh, this is awesome.
We gotta catch up, man.
Well, I was thinking about like maybe doing like the merchant thing, maybe being like a blacksmith, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, learn a trade.
Yeah.
Support from the back here.
The Citadel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I should like go into like making food for the adventurers, like
Yeah.
power them up.
Yeah. They have to eat.
You could buy the ingredients in town even.
I mean, they're making so much money, you don't even have to buy wholesale.
Perfect. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another thrilling episode of Escaping Carcosa Online, the Pathfinder Edition. Our heroes just had a lovely, fun time fighting the first floor boss, but before we hop into that celebration, we're going to introduce ourselves. I am your GM for the evening. My name is Lucas. My pronouns are he, him. Marquise.
Hi everybody, I'm Marquis, sometimes Party Time Online. I also am he, him, and I'm playing Akihiko, who's about to be the saddest of cat boys. Magus, who is also he, him.
Aubrey.
Hello, I am Aubrey. You can find me everywhere on the internet at Mad Queen Cosplay. I use she, her pronouns, and I play Nisla, your local gunstigator, who is very, very low on hit points and needs like at least a day's rest and probably several bones reset. And she also uses she, her pronouns.
And Cassie.
Hello everybody, I'm Cassie, also known as Awesome Hylian across the internet. I use she, her pronouns, and I play Morrigan, our friendly neighborhood Talarian monk, who's short but feisty, even though we miss everything.
All right, so where we last left off, you had went in 150 players strong, marching in to fight the first floor boss. You had a pretty good setup. You managed to clear the skill challenge and lower a lot of its defenses and attacks, and went in for the kill. You unfortunately lost 100 players along the way, Houndman being one of the main losses. They sacrificed themselves saving Akihiko. We go back to this scene. Everyone is in this forest. The snow is starting to melt. The sound of birds and other animals is starting to come back. The corpse of the Wendigo, this gigantic beast, 35 feet tall, it starts slowly pixelating and then shatters. All the bodies that were stuck on the antlers of this great beast start shattering one at a time. Just their last moments staring at you, some even reaching out a hand and grabbing onto a hand of their companions before they shatter and just drift away into the sky. There are 50 players remaining. You all are sitting there, exhausted, bloodied, feeling horrible for many reasons. What are each of you doing?
After I pick myself up, dust off any snow or ice, my brain immediately moves into help people. To assess who's left, who did we lose, and anybody who is still around, immediately jump into patching people up, healing their wounds, things like that, doing medicine, all of that.
So you're rushing around, and like you see a lot of people are even like, they're not even responding when you go over and you start patching them up and helping them out. It's just a lot of them have these blank, frightened faces that are looking forward.
I focus on something else so I don't think about everything.
A staff drops out of Akihiko's hands as he looks hard at the spot where Houndman shattered. Houndman died for him, saving him, and he's trying very hard not to cry as he then realizes, oh no, I've made a mistake. I'm not as strong as I thought I was, and then begins running, calling out by name every single one of the theater troupe, starting with Melvan? Melvan, are you there? And then running down every single one of their names that he remembers from having that time before coming into the first boss arena.
You are running through the crowd of people who still remain, and your eyes are just scanning. 50 people, a lot easier to look through than 150. You do find Melvin. They are still alive. And they are sitting, staring at the ground. Another one of their friends, who's a fairly tall orc, who is sitting by Melvin, and you don't see any other of the theater troupe. And they don't even respond when you do call out to them. They're just sort of looking down, holding hands. Tears are streaming down their faces.
He walks right next to them and is like looking down at them as he just falls to his knees. I'm so sorry.
And Melvin, without saying anything, just reaches over and holds onto your hand.
Morgan is going to start walking away from the knot of survivors towards this now open area of wreckage where the Wendigo had collapsed and has pixelated away, noticing the emptiness, the lack of evidence of what just happened outside of some charred trees, broken trunks. It looks like a storm hit, not like there was just a massacre of 100 people. And be hopeless in the realization that if she dies, it will be just as empty, that the space that she is occupying won't remember her, and she's just going to sort of look around and look at the ground and say, what have we done?
You're standing there looking at this open expanse. You see the remains, some burnt patches where alchemist fire was thrown, or even just a rending of the earth from where claws had dug in. And limping over to you is Dan Noodles. One paw is too hurt as they're coming towards you. And you sit down, and they sit down and just rest their head in your lap. You're just petting them and looking out at this destruction.
We'll be sitting there for a bit, quietly, nursing the paw until a medic can come over and help. But Morgan doesn't know anything about medicine, so just be trying to be comfortable and comforting.
Nisla, while you're going through, you're looking through names, trying to make sure. You see Akihiko is still alive, Loon is still alive, Morgan's still alive, Dan Noodles, your main group that you came in here is still there. You do recognize some other names that are on the list. You see that Amber Guardian is still alive as well. You do see the little X'd out mark for Houndman. You're going through. There's a lot of names that you don't necessarily recognize. You do see others. Lily of Death, Horde Destroyer, Cake Blade, Sapphire Moon, they're all still there. And you do see Loon just sort of sitting by themselves. And they're holding on to this. It looks like an oaken staff. And it has these little sprigs that are coming off it, little leaves here and there. But Loon didn't have this staff beforehand.
I don't think I met that person, but still, yeah, just kind of processing all of this and just being like, oh, that was like just thinking to myself that was the first boss. Like, how are we going to get through everything else if that was the first boss and that took out so many of us? In total, the first boss killed nearly 1,000 people. And just sort of like compartmentalizing, pushing it down, not thinking about it, just not letting myself think about it. Because I know that I'm gonna start crying, I'm gonna break down, and just work. There are people to help, there are wounds to patch up. Like, totally even ignoring the fact that I am bleeding quite a bit, and just help everyone else before I even, like, patch up my own 7 out of 37 health.
So you don't even notice that you're kind of dragging one of your legs, you're favoring one side. Some of your ribs definitely feel like they're cracked. You're going through and you're just patching everyone up who you can.
Eventually I'll get to Morgan and Dan Noodles and silently patch them up.
I imagine at some point Dan Noodles might nudge my bag and remind me in that way that I have healing potions in my bag. Morgan is gonna give Dan Noodles a healing potion.
It's that thing where, like, you know, when people walk their dogs, they have like a water bottle and they're just kind of pouring it out while the dog is lapping it. And so that's essentially how that goes. We go over to Akihiko, who is there. You're sitting with these two. They're not talking. People are starting to get up and starting to move around, check on friends, kind of getting out of this like state that they're in.
Akihiko, feeling Melvan reach out and touch his hand, it's comforting, right? It's a nice feeling. Akihiko gets mad and yells, "Why aren't you yelling at me? I fucked up. I got everybody killed, and all of you didn't deserve this. I was weak, and every time I'm weak, everyone leaves and they die. You should be mad. You should hit me. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do this to you. You didn't deserve this."
And they just reach over and they give you a hug.
He is openly wailing between the two of them, like simultaneously trying to hold them and push them away. as no one has ever done this for him before, accepted him, even when he fucks up.
You're yelling, you're pushing back, you're even kind of flailing a bit as you're just breaking down. All these emotions just pouring out of you at once. You normally have such a wall built up, holding everything back, and it's just such a raw moment for you. And you just feel Melvan's scrawny arms holding you, like kind of patting you on the back a little bit. It's okay. We chose this. We knew it was dangerous. Getting mad isn't gonna bring anyone back. I'm not mad at you, Akihiko.
Hearing those words for the very first time in his life, is when he finally just, like, stops trying to push them away and curls into Melvan as he just, like, is on a loop of a broken person and a broken record. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
You're there for a little bit. You're not even sure how much time passes. You do see that light starts to change direction. The shadows start to lengthen. Each of you start feeling the cramping of your legs from sitting for so long. Nisla, you've patched up everyone, and to the point where you finally are realizing that you yourself are in a fair amount of pain. And it catches up fast. The moment you have the realization of, oh, I'm hurt, just hits you like a rock. All of this pain just throughout your body. Your brain suddenly tells you ribs, leg, ankle, as it's just going through, and you just have to sit down.
Yeah, I don't even know. I still think even then, after I sit down, it takes me a good 15 to 20 minutes to even get my supplies out of my bag to start patching up my own wounds. I just sort of sit there against the tree, breathe.
I think during that time, you're sitting there. You are, you're kind of staring out at everyone. Some people are starting to mill about a little bit. And you feel this warmth on your shoulder as everything starts setting in your body. And you heal back 15 hit points as you feel a lot of wounds just closing up. And you look over there and see Amber Guardian just staring out at the rest of the people standing beside you. The tips of her fingers are just lightly sitting on your shoulders. This magic is coursing through you.
Thanks.
Yeah. Sorry I couldn't get to you earlier. Just a lot.
It's okay. There were people who needed help before me.
It's a stupid question, but are you okay?
Physically, I'm getting there. I don't know about any of the other parts, because I didn't think this was going to be easy in any way, but I didn't think it was going to be this hard.
I don't know if any of us did. Out there, the real world, I got in all sorts of dangerous shit. I would do things that weren't legal. Blow up a lot of construction equipment and stuff. Loggers, those kind of people. And the thrill of that, the danger, the fighting back and saving people and saving the planet, that kind of thing, that felt good. This felt like I wasn't here to fight the good fight. I was desperately clawing to get out of a hole.
The whole time I just kept thinking about my partner. She's out there, and I'm so scared I'm never going to see her again. God, I'm scared I'm never going to hear her voice again, and then I'm just going to be a person in a fucking coma, and she's going to have to watch me die.
You heard what that king said. There's a way out. It didn't feel like any program that some dev put in. That was different. Whatever that thing is, or whoever it is, I didn't feel like they were lying. They said there's a way out. We're gonna get to the end. You'll see your partner again. Get through this. One way or another.
You'll get back to blowing up construction equipment again.
Eco-terrorism needs me.
I think it's an absolute wonderful metaphor that you decided to play a cleric.
Yeah, that didn't ever really dawn on me until now. My name's Hope, by the way.
Ryan, nice to meet you again.
Nice to meet you again as well. Right, Ryan? I think we should get out of this forest. I don't know when the spawns are gonna start coming back.
Oh, yeah. And I... suddenly wondering how nice just, like, are there hot springs here? Or, just like a nice hot bath. Like, when your whole entire body hurts.
The town's weird. Every time I think that I really want something, there's a building there for it. So, I'm sure there's hot springs.
Time to have a classic anime filler arc episode.
Take me to the beach.
God, I really hope there isn't, like, a beach floor.
Oh, I cannot run in sand. So, all of you, it's probably about an hour passes after the actual victory of this fight. You're all picking yourselves up, cried everything out of you. Your eyes are burning. You're shouldering your weapons. You have this new equipment that was granted to you from this vicious boss fight. You see it's the same with everyone else. A lot of people have very themed weapons, armor, items of dealing with this creature. And everyone starts marching back. So as you're going back and you're going through the first floor, a lot of the mobs are still coming up, trying to be like antagonistic. It's not too hard though. There's still 50 of you. You make short work of all things that are coming your way, even though you're wounded, out of spells and all that. But you manage to keep everyone together. You make it through. As you're climbing up the stairs of this first floor, you're kind of just talking to each other. You're, just small talk, little bits of conversation of like, you could really go for something to eat, like things like that. Just things that just pop into your mind. You're just saying them because you need there to be voices present. The silence is killing you with the guilt and the horrors that you witnessed. As you step into Carcosa proper, there are hordes of people, and they are celebrating your return. There is confetti that's being thrown in the air, people cheering, music playing, balloons are released. There are the smells of food that are hitting you. People are cheering as you're all coming through here bloodied, broken, and looking rough. The cheering is going as the 50 of you are walking in. There's like a path cleared for you. Like the main roads, everyone's kept their distance. When just the 50 of you come up, the cheering kind of slows down a little bit. You hear a lot of murmurs, whispers. Where is everyone? What happened? You hear the sounds of menus opening as they're checking, and we see that there are 9,940 players remaining. And it just starts spreading throughout the crowd. Some music is still going, but a lot of it has faded off. The smells of food still linger in the air, but the cheers and clapping has slowed down tremendously. Where would you go? Would you go home? Would you go to a tavern, inn kind of thing? Where is it that you all would go coming back from all of this?
Before I do anything, because I've it would probably be home, but before I do anything, I think I'm going to guess that Smiley is probably at the temple, unless I see her.
You do see her in the crowd, yeah, and she's looking worried, kind of looking around with everyone else.
I'm going to break off and sort of move to talk to her, sort of explain things that happened and all of that. So at least, even if I don't feel up to sending out a message, I can hope that she can get a message out to anybody about, like, what happened. This is what happened.
And she takes it very hard. As you expected she would. She is a more, emotionally in tune person, and just takes this hit as she just starts crying. So many friends.
I know.
So many people.
So many.
This was the first one. This can't be every boss fight.
I don't know. I wish I had better news.
I'm glad you're okay.
I'm glad you're okay too. We weren't prepared. We knew it was going to be difficult. We didn't know it was going to be that difficult. And I hope that it just means we'll be prepared for whatever comes next. Whatever second floor of this dungeon brings at us. Give her a hug. I don't know what really any of us plan to do. I'm exhausted, and I'm hurting in places I didn't know I could hurt.
Well, go get some rest, and we can chat tomorrow or whenever. It's already starting to become the evening. You just need to lie down.
And as I run my hand through my hair, I've realized for the first time, like, ever since I created my character, my hair has, like, fallen out of the crown braid it's been in this entire time, and just messy, and but part of it's, like, still in a braid, but it's just a mess. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna rest and then soak for like 6 hours in the hottest water I can.
You all are slowly sort of marching back. There's people milling about here and there. You hear a lot of, like, taverns, restaurants, all that kind of stuff. A lot of noise coming from them as you're all just sort of walking back. You get to your house and you open it up. And Noodles sort of, like, walks ahead of you and just leaps onto a couch, does a few circles, and just flops down with a huff as they're looking at you. And you see, like, their weapon disappears off their back. It's like it must have gone into their inventory or something. And they're just looking at all of you as you're dragging your feet in.
I think Akihiko holds Melvin's hand the whole time, like, all the way back from the boss arena, and just says, like, where do you stay?
Just one of the taverns.
Would you want to get dinner? I don't want to be alone.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a shower first, but yeah, let's do that. You want to meet in, like, an hour?
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay. They give you a hug and they head off.
He, like, holds the hug, like, 15 seconds longer than probably feels normal. We'll go inside and try to undo all of this.
Well, we'll say there's like washrooms in there. It's a video game, so you have them connected to your rooms. It's real nice. Sweet personal ones that you have all set up.
En suites for everybody.
Hey, what is this layout of this house? I don't know.
Yeah, nobody knows.
It is very large inside. You go inside and there's everything you need.
Greetings there, travellers. It's me, Wing Evergimble, famous name Ballad, and welcome to the new year, 2025. Oh, it's always fun when that one rolls around. It's happened a few times, but here we are, this 2025, and we are diving into the newest episode of Escaping Carcosa. See? We told you, travellers, we'd have one out in January, and right we were. Well, dear travellers, I do hope you had a lovely holiday, so you weren't worked too hard, and you were able to get a little bit of that rest back. Of course, your sleep schedule was probably a touch ruined like my own, but that's just the way these things work. We borrow from the future and we never have the coin to pay up. Well, dear travelers, let's look over here. We got another message. Actually, we have a number of messages, but let's see. We have one that just says, Houndman! And that is from Seafork. Thank you, Seafork. I'd understand your distress about Houndman. But, well, somebody had to go. And you know how the dice are? They are cruel, they are fickle. And that's why we play these games often enough. Well, dear travelers, as we talked about earlier, we are going to be having the episodes probably 1 or 2 a month popping out for you, as we are just focusing on the audio right now, trying to wrap up Season 2. We're still working out the details, trying to get a little bit of help on the video stuff, so hopefully that will happen soon, and then we'll be able to get that ball rolling, and how wonderful would that be? But for now, the focus is on audio. So, tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your dog about Ballad of the 7 Dice. Spread the word. Tell people to give it a listen. We've actually had quite a few new listeners this new year, which is wonderful. So we'd really love to just get out there in as many ears as 2025 will mail to us. Alright, so let's ring in the new year with this wonderful little cursed radio. Talk about the cursed radio, bringing 2025 in with no teeth. Hopefully it'll be kind and it won't try to rip my brain out of my mouth. Ooh.
Beyond the Furthest Stars, a story of excitement.
And then I ride a missile back.
You're gonna bullet bill your way to the shuttle?
Yes.
Within these audio files, you'll find creatures that terrify you.
Oh, I see you are still angry. Shall I reinitiate the nerve gas?
What the?
And some characters that may or may not leave you scratching your head in confusion.
Ollie is going to short out a little bit and say, "Hey, I'm nobody's messenger boy, all right? I'm a delivery boy." And then explode violently.
Blast off with us beyond the furthest stars at oneuppodcast.com on the 1st and 15th of every month, or search for Beyond the Furthest Stars wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you so much for listening.
Nothing like starting the new year with a cursed radio ad. Always has the back of your scalp feel just a little bit like there's an extra layer there when there shouldn't be. Oh, what joys it is. Alright, dear travelers, I don't want to keep you for too long, but I do hope you took some time for yourself, and if you haven't yet, then do so this January. Have a little bit of moment for you, because you've worked hard and you know it. Alright, dear travelers, let's return to the tale. I bid you all adieu.
So everyone had leveled up from this fight and gained some items, some gold. Every person gained 350 gold from that encounter. During this time while your characters are resting, if everyone wants to go over what changed with their characters and what you received. Whoever wants to start.
Upon leveling up, I got to get proficiency in another skill, so I took training in performance on behalf of the theater kids who I made very fast friends with very randomly. I picked up a couple of spells, one of which happens to be the 2nd level spell, Warrior's Regret, which says that the affected target, if they do damage to someone, they themselves take damage. And finally, as Akihiko is kind of in the shower, he realizes, oh, there are these bangles on his wrists, and did not realize that he had not taken them off. As he's looking at them, the menu pops up, and his face drops as he remembers the voice of that creature telling him that he was worthless and that he was going to suffer. As he sees that these are the bangles of the tormented, The souls of the defeated are drawn to these bangles. Each time anyone dies in combat, you feel invigorated. I get a +1 to my attack rolls during that combat for each creature slain. Does not include creatures of a swarm or temporarily magically summoned creatures. And as he's looking at these bangles, I think they probably just, like, take the form of, I would say, like, red eyes are on them. Just angry red cat-like eyes are on them. And he kind of just, like, sinks down in the shower, staring at them, just constantly hearing that creature's voice in his head and the fear that he had felt as he just remembers if he had just been stronger, people would not have died.
For my skill increase, I became an expert in diplomacy, because I feel like I'm going to be doing a lot of talking and things like that. So, also being an investigator, I am very much a jack of all trades, and I think I'm only untrained in 2 things. And for my 3rd level general feat, I grabbed the Ancestral Paragon to get Orbin Dodiness feat, which helps me recover from frightened conditions faster. I felt that was very thematically appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
For my skill feat, I picked up the Continual Recovery. So I can now treat wounds on people every 10 minutes rather than every 1 hour.
Oh, nice.
As, I return to my room and just sort of like shuck my gear, putting it away. I slide off the blue coat that I have, and I realize this thing has been absolutely savaged in the fight. It's like probably missing a sleeve, and maybe even just like part of it just slashed open, and I just sort of toss it into my inventory to stay there. Maybe I'll get it repaired later, but I notice something else. Out of my bag, I pull a sort of a dark-looking leather coat with the sort of fur around the neck and the arm areas, and I have the cloak of the endless winter, and I have resistance 5 to cold damage and cannot be affected by extreme cold climates while wearing this, and wild animals will also take a -2 circumstance penalty when attacking you as they are threatened by the scent. Just sort of hold it up, take a look at it, and just be like, well, you certainly look like you'll keep me warm at least, and, toss it over a nearby chair to wear the next morning while I take care and clean my equipment, my gun especially.
So, it might be a little inconsistent with the mood right now, but I look ridiculous. I have elk horns coming out of my head. I have 7 fingers around my neck, and I am also wearing fighting gloves with my kinetic gloves. So I probably just look like something out of an Edgar Allan Poe story at this point. But I will say, on the way back to the house, there would have been a realization that food was necessary. But with all of the cheering and the confetti and the crowding, that would have been a nauseating prospect to try and get food. So rather than having gotten some hot food from a stall, Morrigan is now on the couch with Dan noodles, eating fistfuls of bran out of the bottomless bag of bran.
You're chewing it, and it's bran. We all know. Yeah, so it's not great, but your stomach, you didn't realize how hungry you were just from that fight, and just all the energy you burned, and the bran that's spilling out of your beak. Dan Noodles happily grabbing it, licking it up. And so the two of you are just sitting there on that couch, just endless bran.
Endless bran. Yes. Yes.
The door opens up with Loon, just with a few bags of food, bringing them in, sets them down on the table, takes one of them, and just exhausted, just marches to their room. And you see this is all food that Loon must have like grabbed from a tavern or something like that, just walking by.
Hope Loon just took it.
The college student in them was like, you must get the food.
I do honestly hope that Loon just took it. Like, didn't pay for it. Just like...
Oh, yeah. It was there for someone else to grab. Just, oh, this is nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just walk up and take somebody else's DoorDash order.
Yeah, I hope like if anybody looked inquiringly, it was like dead eyes from the combat and they like said nothing.
There's blood still on them.
Yeah.
There's torn clothing and they're like, oh, that's one. Just let them have it.
Just take it. Just take it.
Come out, get some food. I will bring food over to the sad potatoes on the couch, and join them as sad potato on the couch.
Morgan will offer you some bran from the bran bag.
I'll just be like, here's food. Here's food.
Just like slow blink at the real food with a beak full of bran and say, oh.
Jesus.
And obviously take the real food.
Yeah.
I think Akihiko is just like, he actually had a fancy outfit, and he puts that on now, and it's a second kimono, but this time actually done up properly, where the other one was a lot more, it was a lighter floral. This one has like motifs of clouds across it. He just like looks at everyone, his hair is down, his tail is like dragging across the floor, as he just says, I'll be back later, trying very hard to not be down, but you clearly see these new bangles on his arms, and they feel like restraints more than empowering items.
Yeah, just take care of yourself.
He tries to muster a smile and fails, and walks to the tavern that he was told to go to.
You're marching out, and people are still in the place. Like, the celebration has picked back up. People are back into celebrating with like, oh, that's rough, but hey, it's still a win. When people see you, they recognize, because you were not only known for the person who like took out sub-boss, but now you were there for the boss fight. There are certain things that are happening where you're all kind of just trying to relax a little bit. You do see that there is like a few other guilds that are popping up, and you see like they're just like little names are flashing by, and you're not really paying much attention, though one does catch your eye as it says the Death Brigade. The guild leader is the Lily of Death. You're all just kind of trying to take the day in. Akihiko, we'll go to your dinner date. You are there in the tavern, and there are a lot of people in here, and a lot of people are indeed celebrating. You go in and you see that Melvan has managed to grab a table. He just kind of wave at you.
Waves back. A very sad smile on his face as he just sits down, putting his hands on the desk and kind of like reaching for Melvin's. Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Should I lie and say I'm doing okay?
No, you can say however you're feeling.
I feel like I deserve these, and points to the bangles to remind me that I failed. How are you doing?
Well, friend just went to go lie down. I think they're gonna be kind of out for a bit. They're just passed out now. I don't know. I don't know how I'm doing. A lot of those people in the group, those are my friends outside of the game. We've been friends since childhood. I don't know. I think I'm still I'm not processing it yet.
For the first time in his life, stands up and sits next to Melvin and tries the only thing he can think of to bring some amount of comfort to this person, and like tries to hold them.
It is awkward because you've never held someone comfortably, so you're kind of, a little too much force. Like you're kind of just like grabbing them, pulling them close, and then trying to, because people are bony, especially Melvin. Melvin's not the, big soft boy or a big strong one. It's just skin and bones kind of thing, and so you're you do grab them a little bit awkwardly at first, but then they kind of like shuffle and lean in as you're holding them. And both of you are just kind of staring as this food arrives and it's sat down in front of you. Some drinks are sat down there. You notice that nobody's asked you for any payment for them, and they're just placed in front of you. So, who are you outside of all this?
He, like, lets go, and he moves, like, a full foot away from Melvan. Tears in the corner of his eyes. I don't know if I should tell you.
You're not a politician, are you?
No. That would probably make it a lot easier. Every time I tell everyone, or tell anyone, when I'm, like, out there, I never see them again.
Hey, I don't care if you're in an MLM. It's fine. You know, like, these kind of things, it's fine. Anything that you're worried about, you don't have to worry about it.
I'm a paraplegic. I've had Guillain-Barré disease since I've been a small child, and I've been in and out of the hospital for the last 12 years, I think. I don't remember anymore. I don't have friends.
Well, I don't think you can say that anymore. Seems like you've made a lot of friends being here.
People like you when you win.
I liked you before you won. I liked it when you said you were going to come to my show.
And I'm sad I won't get to see it.
It's improv anyways. I can't tell you what would have happened.
He just probably, like, rests his head on Melvan's shoulder, and his tail, like, curls around his back. Well, there's still the salon. I would like to be your friend.
I like that too. I think I'm gonna keep the name Melvan though. I got a different haircut though.
I guess that's an acceptable compromise in this situation.
I don't know, it doesn't feel right changing it.
What are you like out there?
I wouldn't say I'm Mr. Popular. I am a drama teacher in a high school, and none of my colleagues really take me seriously. I had all the dreams of making it big, and I went to school for a couple of years, and I ended up the same high school that I hated going to when I was a teenager.
Oh.
Yeah, but when this all happened, I thought it'd be different. Here's a world that doesn't know me. Here's a world that didn't say, this is what you have to do because society's saying it. We are free. And I mean, with freedom, I guess there's a great cost. But I don't know. I am awkward. I am clumsy. I always remember my lines, but my delivery's fantastic every time. But I'm pretty tall. I always have an issue finding the right kind of pants. They're always either the waist is too wide, legs too short.
I don't know what size clothes I wear. I'm very angry and bad at letting people care about me, even when they're probably some of the best people that this world will ever know. I just got into ghost stories. Something about them called to me, and I started reading about them. And I also came to this game because I thought that if I did okay here, that people might like me enough to be my friend in real life.
Well, he nailed it.
Where do you live?
I'm in Seattle. I don't know if you're outside of Seattle or not.
I also live in Seattle.
Not too far from my wonderfully small apartment. I could see the Mopop. It's kind of cool sometimes when they do like light shows on the side of it. Get to see it for free.
I have a beautiful view of the lake.
The lake? How rich are you?
You don't know. My mother is the PR director for Nostradamus.
Must really, we're for a loop that you're here.
I don't quite think she cares and may be happy if I get killed.
Shit. I'm sorry, I thought my parents sucked. They're like, you're never gonna make it in the arts. Fair, but I mean, they didn't have to be dicks about it, but they didn't want me to die. I'm sorry. I'm being a little insensitive about that. That caught me really off guard. I've just never heard anyone say that.
It's okay. I've not really had this long of a conversation without insulting somebody, so I'm a little out of practice too.
What about your I don't know, is your father still in the picture? Or I'm feeling if your mom wants you to die, I don't know how good she is at romance.
He left when I got sick.
Oh.
It's my fault. I was too weak.
Hey, I don't know the person, but can't imagine that's what it is.
It just feels nice that there's one person, at least, who thinks I'm okay.
Cheers to two real okay people sitting here in a crowded, somewhat smelly tavern. We're here for another day.
We are here for another day. And I think he clinks the glass with Melvan, and as Melvan is taking a drink, he will kiss Melvan on the cheek.
Naturally, Melvan is coughing as they inhale some of their drink, and they're kind of sputtering. Their face just blushes as you're there and sort of leaning in on Melvan, and we leave the two of you in this tavern. We go over to our two people sitting on a couch with a dog.
Yep.
Completely unaware of the budding romance.
Yeah. Have the thing where the dog is just laying over both of us and we're just giving the dog so many scritches.
Yeah, they had like a bowl of like potato soup that they were just slurping up while they were there, and it's so loud, but it's there. And they're just they roll over entitled, expecting belly rubs.
Mm.
Which they will receive promptly.
Receive so many.
You two are, you're just sitting there, a little bit of time passes, you're feeling a lot of that tension just leak out of you.
You think Akihiko's doing okay? They dressed up fancy.
They're dressed up fancy. It seemed like they were meeting someone, so at the very least, not alone.
Very good. I wouldn't want to be alone right now. Alone means alone with your thoughts, and your thoughts are just...
Yeah, I don't know if I dislike being alone necessarily. I found myself alone quite often before the game, and I don't really have a support structure. It's just sort of, deal with it or don't. That's whatever you want, I guess. But it's nice having you here. And Dan noodles and, dare I say, eating bran on the couch. This is okay for right now.
Yeah, I just suddenly have been realizing how little time I actually do or ever have spent alone. Like truly alone. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, when I was growing up, so she was always around, and I had my best friend who was always around. And then I wouldn't say I was unpopular in high school, but I was just like one of those, like, I hung out in a lot of weird different cliques. I kind of just floated around. I had a lot of I never talked to them after we left high school, but I would consider them friends. But we left high school, and then suddenly, who are you? I don't remember you. Not that we'd ever be like that, but it was just like, it was just a talking part. I just talked to my best friend. And then my best friend and I went off to college and became film majors. And then, I had a roommate for all of those 4 years, so yeah, and more not alone. And then I immediately jumped from that to living with my partner. And just suddenly realizing, I really don't know how I would react to just being, alone. I've really had it before.
It can be hard, but sometimes I think it's soothing to allow yourself to be in your thoughts without thinking you need to behave a certain way despite what's going on in your mind.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I hope that your partner makes you feel like you don't need that,
I love them. I love them. They're, oh God, such an idiot sometimes, but they're my idiots. And I can't believe that they do the job that they do, and I have seen them be the idiot that they are and love them. They do such a weird, complicated job of testing security systems, but I've just, been with them every day, and I'm just I'm glad that they're doing what they enjoy doing. We met when they were a senior in college and I was a freshman, and we kind of just bonded, and it was suddenly 2 years pass and we're in a relationship, and I don't think either of us realized it. We just were.
Yeah, they sound really special. I notice how often you go to send messages to the outside world for them to see, and I'll admit I thought a little negatively of it when we first got here, but I think that was just me being jaded because I don't really have anybody to send a message to. And the more you talk about them, you really have something that you're trying to get back to, that is meaningful and worthwhile for you. And I think that that's really special with the folks that are here. And I hope you do.
It's just one of those things, I think about a lot. I hope that, when we make it out of here, you can at least, I don't know, friend me on future Facebook or whatever. We're friends.
On F squared.
F squared, whatever it is, and, I don't want to... Is it weird to ask, where you live?
I mean... No, I don't think so. But it's... On the one hand, it's the better part of the city in that it's clean and safe and good. On the other hand, I would also say it's the worst part of the city because it's sterile and unwelcoming. I live on a 20th floor apartment. It's a gorgeous building. It has security. I have a suite of rooms all to myself. I hate it there, and I have been struggling to find my independence and my freedom from under the thumb of my family for a long time. And now that we're here, and in some sick, twisted sense, I have that. I can do whatever I want, really, here. I have the money, I have the levels, but I just want to go home and be safe. I'm sure I could do what I've been wanting to do at home. I just want to scream to the sky, I got it. The lesson is learned. Can I please leave now?
Don't wish for things.
So I honestly, I switch back and forth on if I want to go or not. But after today, as messed up as our world is, this is just unfair and horrible.
We don't have cryptids murdering people in our real world.
Yes. Yeah, it's just other people. It's just other people.
Just other people. I don't have to worry about Bigfoot breaking into my apartment and trying to murder me.
Well...
And, as I scratch Dan Daniels behind the ear, we have to make sure that this boy gets home.
Yes. so I can steal him.
Yes, because, I mean, obviously.
How do we find out where Dan Dan Noodles lives? I think that is the real question.
You two are sitting and laughing on the couch, and you hear a creak on the floor behind you. At first you think it's Loon, because Loon's in the house, and was, they went to their room, and now they're back here. And you hear the slow footsteps wandering around your kitchen area behind you. You're sort of seated in this open area, the living room there.
Do the thing where I just say quietly, just to Morgan, just being like, I didn't just manifest Bigfoot, did I?
No, you're tired.
Gonna slowly just it's either that or it's the mayor, and I think the mayor might be worse.
The mayor would be so much worse.
Gonna slowly peek my head up over the couch to look behind me to see who's in our house.
You look back there and no one's there, but things have been moved. Cups been moved over to one counter. Some of the food has been, the containers are opened up. You see that there is some of the cutlery is on the counter when it wasn't before.
I will, from my inventory, pull out of my gun and just be like, I'm going to investigate this. Armed like you should be in this situation.
Morgan will accompany with fists and horns at the ready.
Dan Dan wakes up. It was passed out on your lap. They're looking around. They just sort of trot with you, looking like, what's going on? And as the three of you, you're looking in the kitchen, you're looking down the hallway towards the bedrooms, you hear the creaking in the living room now, where you just were.
I think Morgan would swivel around and just bolt back into the living room.
You two turn around. Nothing's there again. The blanket that you had over a part of the couch is folded up and put somewhere else. There is a few smears, they're finger streaks, across the window that weren't there before. They look very oily.
Oh, God.
You hear a creak directly behind all of you. The temperature fluctuates for a second. It's really cold, it's really hot. And this distorted, fuzzy voice, like someone talking through an old radio, sounds, "Greetings. I am Truth."
So you might have to repeat the name, because after saying greetings, Morgan, in this tense state, would have shrieked, and
I would have shrieked as well.
The bag of bran went flying, and now there's just bran.
You both turn around, just weapons wielded. The dog turns around, barking, looking around, and you just see burned into the kitchen table is the word truth. Just all along there. But there's no one.
Oh God, Mayor really gave us a curse house.
First of all, rude. Defacing our furniture. Second of all, I'm pretty sure out of all the players here, we know the most. We've been at all the key things. What truth?
Thinking back to all of my stuff, wasn't... Because I have greetings, I am Truth in my notes. And that was the figure that showed up at the very beginning, right?
That was someone on the message board, and their level was 9999.
Yes, greetings, I am Truth. Because I was like, yeah, I wrote that in my notes, but then I just said, who is this? And I didn't give myself any more context. And then I immediately go, that's the person who was on the leaderboard. Who is Truth?
Oh, yes. The busted leaderboard is a phantasm?
At least they could have done is we've got to have paper and pens somewhere. They could have just written it, could have burned it into our table.
If you're listening, Truth, next time don't burn your name into the furniture.
Can I take a look at whatever the burn is in the table to see if it was like, is it somebody like carving it out with a finger, or what, does this person have like a brand that they just go pop?
Yeah, roll me a perception.
That is going to be a 25.
There are wet footprints, like of heavy boots that have been walking through this whole area. You see too that they had come right up along the back of the couch while you two were sitting there with the dog. And the burn marks, it looks like it's a finger, like someone just kind of carved it out of clay, almost, and they just seared it in.
This is just more questions on top of questions.
Should we actually go see the mayor?
No.
Because I remember Akihiko's been calling out some NPCs that are not so NPC, and the mayor knows stuff.
Remember, like, Bernard, like, he definitely seemed to have a moment where he was like, wait, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
When he was like, it's free, and then it's 10 gold, and he's like, wait.
Yeah. I'm not much of an interrogator myself, though. So my vote is we get Akihiko to verbally lambast this guy, or we break into his office and go through his stuff.
Yeah, that could be a thing. Except I am scared of whatever we might find in that office.
Apparently we might find truth. Whoever or whatever that is.
I'm also gonna, tomorrow, see if anyone in any of the NPCs, I say with air quotes, in town have heard of someone named Truth, or the phrase "Greetings, I am Truth" means anything to anybody.
Yeah.
Do Ouija boards exist in this world? Maybe we can contact Truth with a Ouija board.
Anyone, you could probably try to make one.
I mean, there are necromancers, aren't there? Maybe there's like a subclass of necromancer who's like a medium.
Maybe the merchant has a Ouija board.
The merchant would be the person, I think.
Because, I mean, that's the lowest tech way that I think I've ever seen anybody try to, like, talk to a ghost. Now I'm just, like, thinking about all the ghost hunting shows I've watched.
Yeah, it's like Ouija board, ham radio, or seance. Or, like, what are those meters that they use to measure, like, ghost activity? It's a something meter. I don't know what it's called.
I think it's, like, EMF or something?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Ouija board it is. We'll see if we can get a Ouija board, and then when Akihiko comes back, we will talk about breaking into the mayor's office.
Yep, that's a possibility. I definitely, I am scared for whatever we might find, and I'm also scared for, as creepy as the mayor is, I don't want to get on their bad side.
I mean, we're kind of heroes right now. And we did him that favor with the gross teeth. I feel like we have some leeway.
Let's go find the broom and clean up all this bran.
You're sweeping up the bran while the dog is eating some of it off the floor, just like nonchalantly. They already ate a bunch, so they're not eating a lot. And I think at this time, Akihiko, you are stepping in. It is a weird mix of emotion, because on one hand you had a date and it went well, and when you had kissed Melvan, was very receptive of this, and the two of you it was like a cute sort of moment. You didn't have like those, you've watched a few romance movies in your time that it wasn't the big fireworks, all that kind of stuff. It was right. It was comfortable. It was a friendship that you had never experienced before. And you feel that it's becoming definitely something more than that. And you had exchanged friend requests, as that is the exchanging of numbers in this world.
He would probably just, like, after getting the acceptance, would just send back, thank you. I can't wait to do it again.
You get a number of heart emojis and sent your way.
And he probably just says out loud as he's like walking into the house, how did I go from mocking that theater nerd to liking him, and going in and then...
Bran everywhere.
What? I understand we went through a lot of problems, but did the floor do something to us?
It was an accident. Something was in here, and...
Ghosts?
Yes. The ghost of truth. The ghost of truth past.
Yep.
Scared me.
What in the Charles Dickens is happening to you?
You remember that weird name on the leaderboard, right?
Yeah, the one who was like 999 level?
Well, so we were just sitting around, eating food, minding our own business, when we heard somebody fucking around in the kitchen. We thought it was Loon, just being Loon, being creepy. We looked around. It wasn't Loon.
It was nobody.
There was nobody there. And we went to the kitchen, and then we heard it in the living room. And then it was behind us, and it said, "Greetings, I am Truth."
And scared.
And then I will point to the table.
Akihiko does not look at the table first. He is going to use his second level feat that he picked up, which is to turn on Detect Magic. And he wants to just do basically just like a quick magic check around the room to figure out like the validity of what they're saying and how this thing, before even looking at the table, could have gotten in here and fooled two of the most perceptive people he knows.
Make me a fortitude saving throw.
Oh, that is not what I wanted you to say to me.
Oh, no.
I did not want you to say those words. 28.
You look around to try to pick up what kind of magic, like someone must have used something to get in here. You are getting used to how magic works, how it looks, how it feels, the strands of magic. But what you see in here is wrong. And your brain doesn't know why it's wrong, but it hits you and it sickens you as you're looking around and you were about to bring up that lovely meal, but you manage to kind of fight it down, take a few deep breaths as you're looking, and there are traces of this magic that has been corrupted, been shifted and changed, and you're staring at it. You don't know what it is you're even looking at. You just know your brain saying, that's not right. This is broken. And it's fading. It's kind of like you're seeing it and it's slowly dissipating in the house.
Once he recovers, so the two of you would see his eyes and his ears seem to take on this weird glow of like arcane sensory, and like gets down on all fours and just begins sniffing the ground and the air, and like after a second his whole body stiffens and he's about to throw up, and once he gets that under control, just says, "That's not anything that any player has access to." Would it be comparable or something different than all the cryptid NPCs we've seen?
You've never really got a good look at like the magic surrounding them, but I think it would be kind of a similar feeling of like survival instinct when you meet these people. Your brain thinks like, this is dangerous. We should get the hell away from this thing. And you're never like, there's the obvious reason why they look gross or they look terrifying, but you're like, this is a video game. Of course, there's going to be things that look like that, but it's past that. It's your brain saying like fight or flight, and we're choosing flight. It's definitely a very similar feeling to that.
Kind of explaining that it's a very similar feeling, but probably more pronounced here than with them, and just says, well, whatever it is, it can find us wherever, so...
Horrifying.
Yeah.
It was in our house. What are we supposed to do if it can just come into our house?
Just try to forget that it exists.
It burned its name into the table.
We can always replace that.
Burn into the new table.
Who knows?
Listen, tables, super replaceable. Sanity, not so much, so just like... I just want you to pretend that this thing does not exist.
Who even knows that we're in this house? Like, does everybody know? Because I feel like the mayor basically gave us this house.
It wasn't like a party.
Yeah.
Announcing that this was our house.
I have a very sneaky suspicion that whatever this thing is, it can reach anyone, anywhere, at any time. And I don't know what truth it would like to deliver unto us, but,
It's being real fucking cryptic.
maybe we should just get some sleep and deal with that fresh in the morning.
I'm gonna reach into one of the bags of takeout and just pull out like a bottle of wine and just like uncork it and just be like, anybody else needs something stiff to drink after that?
Yes.
You see, like, Akiko start to blush. I'm good. I'm gonna go get some sleep. Good night. And just, like, runs into his room and slams the door.
That was weird. Is there another bottle in there?
Probably. Dinner, date, whatever, you know, they went on there, it looks fancy. Went well, sounds good.
I think so, yeah. And Morgan's gonna grab the other bottle and open it and just be like, we're over here freaking dealing with corrupt phantasms and just grumbling about how Akihiko clearly had an amazing date and we were just dealing with jump scares and eating bran.
Back to the couch with Dan noodles and just being like, well, at least we don't get hangovers here.
True. And in the morning we can go get that Ouija board.
You know, like you have a fireplace that's in here, and so the dog goes and curls up a safe distance away from the fireplace.
Yes.
Yes, a safe distance.
We leave this moment where you two are grumbling and drinking wine as you're talking about what this could be, who this could be, and the fireplace is nice and relaxing and warm. We go to Akihiko's room. Akihiko, you're facing the wall, and you have like your little chat box open, and you and Melvan are sending these messages back and forth, and you're having this beautiful moment. And as the camera is slowly zooming away from Akihiko, his figure is standing just a few feet away. White clothes, this white mask, expressionless, looking down, just staring at our cat boy who is falling into this budding romance. Escaping Carcosa is brought to you by the Ballad of the Seven Dice Network. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram by searching Ballad of the Seven Dice. Supporting our Patreon helps us pay for the show, such as hosting, equipment, and additional content for you to enjoy. Our Patreon is pay what you want and contains behind-the-scenes footage, audio dramas, one-shots, and more. You can also head over to iTunes and Spotify and leave us a 5-star review. Every review helps us fight against the horrors of the algorithm. Until next time, dear travelers, and keep an eye out for that yellow sign.
This is like a point of clarity that is probably unnecessary, but is there the ability to become constipated in this world?
Well, we figured out there's a way for the opposite to happen, so there must be something.
Because Dan is probably going to be very constipated after eating all that bran as a dog.
Oh, maybe. We'll see what happens. What unfortunate woes face our canine companion.
Bad to see Uber bring me chicken skewers.
Is that cannibalism?
Well, birds eat birds, right?
I'm a raven. I eat everything, especially dead birds.
This is true.